Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, aka Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A game, he's been on top of his A game. When I say A game, I mean his A game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-Game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-Game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog just because I want some sleep. If you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-Game, fellas. Get your A-Game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what we're talking about is why Black women should never be number one. You should never be number one. What am I talking about? Number one in what? What you talking about, Crimson Cure? Number one in your man's life. And I know that that sounds contradictory to what we have been told, what we have been taught. I should be the first priority in my husband's life, in my man's life. If we're in a committed relationship, then why wouldn't I be the first priority? So I'm going to let a man, not a black man, but a man, tell you really what this is all about. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. And we're gonna let him talk to you. Here we go.
Stop putting your woman at the center of your life. And you guys do this and then you wonder why, if and when, and heaven forbid, if they walk away, you lose a piece of yourself and you feel empty. Your center should be your purpose. Your center should be your goals. Your center should be your focus. Your center needs to be you. What you're doing is you're creating a codependency. What you're doing is you're relying so heavily on their existence in your life to be happy and to give you purpose that when they leave, because they are not permanent, they're not guaranteed, they have the free will to walk away anytime, you lose a piece of yourself. Get focused, gentlemen. Come on. I'll say it once.
Okay. So, we took a quick listen to that. And you heard the young man talk about what a man's focus and what his purpose really should be. And it should be himself. His focus should be his purpose. His focus needs to be his life goals and not you. So that puts you down from number one on the prioritization list. It doesn't mean that you're not important, all right, as his woman, as his wife. Doesn't mean that you don't hold any priority or that you don't hold any importance. As a matter of fact, you hold a great deal of importance, which is why you can't be number one, because not only is he doing these things for himself, okay, his life goals and all of these things, but once he brings you into his life, all of them things become so much more important that he has to keep up because he has you, because you're there, because he cares that if he sinks, it's not just him that's gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer. He doesn't want you to. And if though there are children involved, he doesn't want his family falling. He doesn't want his family suffering. He doesn't want his family to sink when he sinks. So he has more of an investment to swim than sink. It's more of a motivation for him to keep going and for him to do the absolute best that he can do, because there's more at stake than just him, right? Because when men are by themselves, one moment. excuse me, when men are by themselves, they will go until the wheels fall off. And if they fall, they'll just deal with it. They'll just pick up the pieces, however difficult it is, and then they'll just try to put it back together for themselves, and it'll just go until they just drop, right? But when they have women in their lives, and this is why it's so important for us to be able to relate to them, for us to be able to really be the helpmeet to them, because we have to understand that if we want the type of productive men that we say that we want, that we say we're worthy of, we say we deserve these kinds of men, we say we are not liking it if these types of men overlook us or they don't pay us any attention or what have you. We like and we want and we desire these kinds of men. So we have to be able to relate to them. This is why you're a helpmeet. This is why when you have that type of man, this is why he wants to know, are you submissive? Are you cooperative? Do you have the discipline that it takes to be with me? Because I can't make you number one, but you won't want for nothing. You won't suffer. I won't make you suffer underneath me at all. Like you gonna have the best of everything I have. The very best that I can do, you're gonna reap the benefit of that thing. Trust and believe that's what's gonna happen. But I need you to play a certain position that allows me the space that I need to really do this. Because if you become number one in your man's life, it does create a codependency type of situation where you become the focal point. You and all your issues and all of your things and all of whatever baggage. This is why I talk so much about a woman's trouble and a woman's threat. This is why you have to eliminate your trouble as much as possible and your threat as well, because you need to be a whole entire woman by the time you meet this man. By the time this man comes to you, you're either whole or there's such little work that he needs to do with you, and it doesn't distract him from his true focuses. It doesn't distract him from his true purposes. A man's structure of purpose, God comes first typically, and then himself, right? And all of his internal value. He has to have that going on, right? So the Most High, which is why spiritual is number one, and then he has to have those 5 internal values ready to go. But the thing about it is, you have to also have that stuff. This is what men are talking about when they're talking about competing for them. They don't mean get into a foot race with another woman. They mean of the women that they have the option to have as a helpmeet in their lives, are you the best choice? Stop getting mad at the table question. Stop getting mad at the competition requirement. Stop getting mad at this stuff and start understanding how the men are trying to communicate with you, what they're trying to communicate with you. They're asking you if you are already whole, so that when they invite you into their lives, you don't become a distraction to them. You become a help. You are not a liability. You are an asset. This is why it's so important for y'all, for Black women, to see to whatever traumas they've had, if they've had any, to see to whatever mental or emotional issues, work on them things before, if those things are an issue, and make sure that they're okay before you try to get into these relationships, because your man doesn't have time to become your therapist. And that's what a lot of us mistakenly go into these relationships feeling like he gotta fix me. And we mistake that for a man upgrading a woman. The man's upgrade of you doesn't have anything to do with fixing you because you're too broken to be in a relationship. Okay? Let's understand the differences and and put the true definitions to these things instead of going on with these this miseducation and, you know what I'm saying, this misinformation that we're actually acting on and trying to live our lives on. It is the realm of men that when he gets a woman, he upgrades her, and not just monetarily. Because the man that's your husband is actually supposed to be your better. He's supposed to be smarter than you. He's supposed to be more accomplished in life than you. He's supposed to have more money than you. He's supposed to have He's supposed to be better than you so that he can upgrade you. And that upgrading isn't always just about rising you from one monetary situation to another. It's about your entire mindset, your entire being as a woman. He upgrades that. You come into his world because you have to step up into his world, not down into his world. You have to step up, but we have to stop thinking that that's only a monetary situation. Okay, we have to stop thinking that, because there are a lot of men who are our betters, even if he's not quite earning more than us. And this is especially so for younger types of men in their 20s, men in their early 30s. They haven't reached their earning potential, their highest earning potentials yet. However, they may well be on their way because they have all these other things intact already. They already have their foresight intact. They already have their masculinity intact. Like, they already understand how to deal with their manhood and their masculinity. So when you think about their male nature, their provision, problem solving, protection, procreation, they already have that solidly as a foundation. They already are able to create their own order. They already have leadership skills that they implement in their own lives. They already have demonstrated selflessness. They already have demonstrated their ability to handle polygyny if they have to. And there's also other layers to polygyny that I won't get into right now. They actually have demonstrated their strength, not only their physical strength, but their mental strength, their mental fortitude, their ability to face adversities and not have those adversities break them, and their ability to create culture around them, to create a culture that they live by personally. And then when people are invited around them, they experience the culture of that man's life. And then that woman has to have the ability to pass on that culture. This is why these types of men require femininity and not conditionally, because they don't need you trying to turn it on and off, because they're not turning on and off their masculinity. They're asking this because they need a woman that actually has these things intact. Her insight, her ability to nest, her ability to maintain her beauty, her fertility, to bring her chaos under order, to bring her submission under his leadership, to have her selfishness contained in a way that makes sense, have her hypergamy presented to him in a way that spurs him on further, to get into her feminine power and the ability to pass on the culture that he has created for himself. So I need the Black women to stop getting mad at the table question. You may not like the way that he phrased that question, or the fact that that question is a question, but at this day and age, men have to ask, because women are too busy trying to either have conditional femininity, or they're coming into men's lives trying to take their life over and trying to make the men focus on them. But sis, if he focus on you, you the one gonna get bored and not want to be in a relationship anymore, because if he focus on you, then other things are going by the wayside. And this is why these relationships take discipline, because he's not always going to be able to sit in your face and cater to you and cuddle you and all of this and coddle you. He's not going to have time to do those things. So this is why it's important that when he actually makes that time be quality and not be riddled with nonsense, arguments, strife, and chaos, like to make that time peaceful so that it can be quality, so you can get something out of it, he gets something out of it, and you'll be making time again in the future so that you can have that connection. The time that you spend with your husband is to shore up that connection, that emotional connection that you have, not to break it with nonsense, arguing, chaos, and BS. So you'll never be number one. Not if that man is worthy, you won't be number one in his life, but you will be high priority in his life. But you have to be worthy of that. All right. So go down into the comment section, sound off, and let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.